Girl, we are getting it all the way together on YouTube. I'm gonna show you how we got this look, fresh, sort of soft glam, no shimmer or glitter today. I'm gonna show you some long wear techniques. I'm gonna be out and about today. I do have some things to do. It is so cold in North Carolina. I'm gonna talk to you about some life updates. I made Sephora Squad 2026. So let's talk about that and let's get into this look. Come on. Let us not discount the importance of good skin prep. I've been loving these products from Dior. What is this called? This is the spray serum. It's an emulsion or a biface, water and oil, and I love it as the first step to wake up the skin and just make you feel like alive. We are going to get this hair out of the way. I'm growing in my grays. We're transitioning. My daughter is a hairdresser. We did some gray blending, but it's a work in progress. Then I go in with this also from Dior. It's a double serum. Absolutely love the way that this serum and moisturizer plump up the skin and get it ready for makeup. I usually just mix both products. It's hydrating, smoothing, and sits beautiful under makeup. So that's gonna check all the boxes. This is what it looks like. It's delicious. It is a daytime look, so we do not skip sunscreen. This has become one of my favorite sunscreens. It's from Numbuzin, which is a Korean brand. It leaves no white cast, soaks in like a serum, hydrating but not overly so. So I'm oily skin and I can't have those sunscreens that just leave you really dewy. This is not that beautiful. Use this experiment software just to set the lips, get us ready for lip product, leave it sitting there while we do the rest of our makeup. Anyways, so I wanted to talk to you about a few things. I have not really figured out a consistent schedule on YouTube, but we will. 2026 is going to be the year that I figure all that stuff out. For those of you that don't know, my main platform is TikTok. So it's been a little challenging to kind of manage multiple platforms, Instagram and, now YouTube. What I am going to commit to is one YouTube video every 2 weeks until I can figure out a more consistent posting schedule. That was the Colleen Rothschild Tinted Illuminated Eye Cream. It's the best and I love it so much. Some really cool things have happened to me. I made Sephora Squad 2026. That is super exciting. Also super unexpected. I've only actually been on social media for 2 years. I started on TikTok. Taught myself social media because I have a corporate job that has nothing to do with social media. So the last 2 years has really been about a lot of learning, learning digital marketing and social media. And, all of this was new to me. I was a makeup artist in my early 20s. I was a makeup artist with MAC. And then, life happened and I chose, or, another career path was chosen for me, let's say, which is the career that I've been doing for, over 25 years. But, there was always something in me. I call it like a still small voice. Don't worry, we look crazy. We're underpainting. It's all going to be okay, though. So I call it like a still small voice. It's that voice that nudges you, that you usually dismiss because it's crazy, right? So, I would have this still small voice in me that goes, oh, you should, get back into makeup, which was, your first love. And then I'll be like, that's stupid. You're not going to make any money at that. You make a lot of money in your corporate job. Stop being foolish. That's what that still small voice sounds like to me. And that's how it shows up, in my life. And I don't know, you guys, 2 years ago, it was actually my daughters. I have 4 children, 2 daughters, ages 20 and 23 now. And they were like, Mom, you should get on TikTok. And I was like, oh no, that dancing app. I didn't know anything about TikTok. And they were like, no, there's, women on there that, teach makeup or talk about makeup. And there's some beauty channels. And I was like, what? I had never even downloaded the app. So I missed the heydays of 2020 on the app. And I had to grow really slow over there. But, I did it and I posted my first video. I always knew what my mission was going to be, what my niche was going to be. I was going to talk about mature skin tips, tricks, techniques, and how we need to modify some things. So it's my belief that we can participate in everything. Trends, sparkle, glitter, high blush, all the things. We can do all the things. We just need to make small tweaks and adjustments as our skin ages. And so that's what I did. You know, I started a TikTok channel, posted my first video. You guys, this is how much I didn't know when I started TikTok. I didn't follow anybody. The first day I downloaded the app was to post my first video. I didn't know who anybody was. I didn't follow anybody. Nobody followed me. Nobody knew who I was. And that video did pretty well, according to my daughters. Again, I didn't even have the knowledge to know that it did well. But what I would do is I would film a video and then I would save it in drafts and wait for my, 18-year-old daughter at the time to come home from high school, edit it and post it. And then after 2 weeks of that, she was like, okay, that's it. I'm done. You're going to learn how to edit. And I did. And so, you know, that just kind of grew. Happened relatively quickly. I loved the community that I was building. I actually saw a lot of really good success initially. You know, I grew pretty quickly, developed this amazing community. I've always had brand deals, so never really struggled with that. And, you know, I applied for the Sephora Squad. I applied last year, so 2024, I applied for the Sephora Squad, and I didn't get in. Because I didn't get in, I mean, the chances of making the Sephora Squad just statistically from a mathematical standpoint are, you know, very slim, right? So I didn't really think about it. Year 2, I applied. 2025, I applied. And I didn't do any of the things you're supposed to do. Like, they want you to ask for testimonials. I didn't ask for any testimonials. I didn't post a link in my bio where you would even see that I applied for Sephora. I just sort of threw my name in the hat and then forgot about it. Till about October 24th when I got an email that said, application update, welcome to the Sephora Squad. And this is what happens when you're 57, right? Like, you don't believe everything at first sight. So I literally took the people's names that were on the email, put them through LinkedIn because I was like, this is spam. What? And so after the 4th person's name I plugged in, I was like, oh, this is not spam. What is happening? And it's been a whirlwind since then. Of course, you know, the worst part was I had to keep that secret until until November 19th when the formal announcement was going to be made. So it's 3 weeks. I can't tell my community. I can't tell anyone. I'm so excited. And then November 19th came. They made the announcement. There's a billboard in Times Square with my face on it. So we did what anybody would do when they learn their faces on a billboard in Times Square. We bought 2 plane tickets to New York City and a hotel room to go see it. So last weekend, we went to New York. Just me and my husband. It was a quick... it was about 36 hours. It was one night. We left really early on the first day and then got back really late the second day. So we really did have 2 full days in New York. And when I tell you that looking at that billboard, I knew it was there. I had even seen people record it, so I knew what it looked like. But it wasn't until actually seeing it in person. It was like, wow. I can't even describe. I probably watched it 100 times because we were staying at a hotel right in front of it. My husband worked out a room where our view was actually the billboard. Like, we could see it from our window in our room because he's amazing that way. And you know, it was just surreal. It was really like so validating that, you know, that decision I had made to kind of get on TikTok and speak to women over 50 who weren't showing up in commercials and algorithms and beauty ads and felt like they had kind of maybe disappeared from the beauty conversation. It was so validating to know that that was the right path. And it's hard to explain, but so 2026 is going to be a really fun year, to say the least. I'll be taking all of you with me. If you just met me on YouTube, I used to talking to my audience, but if you know me from TikTok, like, I don't do anything where I'm not bringing you guys along. So it's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to, like, you know, just have those experiences. You have a lot of professional development and brand deals with not only Sephora, but the brands inside of Sephora, professional development masterclasses, meeting brand owners and founders, you know, shooting content, traveling, going to, you know, events. And it's just so exciting. For a 57-year-old girl who taught herself social media 2 years ago, it is definitely was not on my bingo card, let's just say. That's happening. So I just realized I've been so talking that I haven't really been going through products. I used the Dior contour stick. We underpainted. I used the Dior contour stick to start. Then I went in with the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation in shade Maple. I love this. Love it to underpaint. And then I set with the Givenchy. I have the little mini. This is the new formula, so the one without talc. I know a lot of people hate this. I don't really know why. I love it. I think it's beautiful in our mature eyes because it gives you just enough luminosity without making you flat and looking like all the moisture has been sucked out of your under eye. And then I just set, you know, my eyelids and the center of my face, and that's where we are. I picked up this LYS blush when I was in New York in Times Square at the Sephora. And it's in shade, it's the shade Focused, shade Focused. It's this really beautiful, like, kind of almost neutral, shimmery pink. If you're doing underpainting, some people will do their blush and then underpaint on top of the blush. I don't really do that. You certainly can, but if you ever feel like you've gone a little bit overboard, you just take your same brush with your skin tint or your foundation on and just go over it. And it'll take down the blush and it'll also blur out the edges. I'm going to be using the Patrick Ta Edit palette, the palette of 6 matte shades. This is the color Medium. These are the perfect everyday neutrals. So if you're somebody who likes, you know, just starting out with a matte shadow, love this formula. I love the shade selection. I actually want to get the dark color story because it's got a true black in it. It's stunning. I absolutely love every single shade. They're highly pigmented, very smoothing, like buttery soft formulas, but don't blend away. So sometimes when you have a lot of like real soft or buttery formulas, they have the tendency to sort of blend away into nothing. Not these. I like to keep the inner corner a little bit bright, so I take it in the inner corner and pop a little bit on the tear duct. Then with a Refreshodo 06, I'm going to go into this shade here. I'm going to mix these two shades and a little dot of the deepest. With something with a straight edge, I'm going to put it right here at the base of the lash. And I'm just going to draw a little bit of a V just to get some depth out here in the outside corner. This is the easiest eye look ever, and anybody with any level of skill can do it. I'm just going to perfect. But this is also a good technique if you've started with, if you've already done your base. It's going to ensure that nothing gets, you know, all over your face because you've got this straight guide. So we'll go ahead and repeat on this side. But let me try to come up a little closer. Just like this. Just like that. Going right out to this guide. See? Go ahead and perfect it if you want additional smudgage. I take this and just run it down here, bottom lash line. And I do like to smoke this out just a little on the bottom. Easy everyday eye. And for longevity, I'm going to go ahead and set that cream bronzer with powder bronzer. I'm using the Gucci and a Makeup by Ariel brush. I do have to go out today. I'm meeting a girlfriend. This is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So I do have some family in town, and it's just about that time where she needs a break. Just kidding. They're amazing, and I love them. I'll probably maybe even take my sister-in-law with me. I don't know. Then with an Anissa all over a powder brush, I'm going into this YSL. They'll make me blush in this baby pink shade. Stunning. Also to set those creams. And this is, these blushes come in a radiant version and then a more matte. I'm a really big fan of the radiant ones though. I think they're so special. Probably my favorite blush release of the year. Now I'm taking this MAC highlighter in shade Bubbled Over. I'm putting just one dot onto the back of my hand. And then with my stands out, I'm gonna work this into the sponge. And then I'm just lightly tapping over the cheek. And the high points of the face, anywhere the light would hit you. Stunning. Lip combo starting with MAC Plum. I like to overline the cupids though and the bottom. And then everything else stays in the lit line. Gonna give you that vertical height, not make you look like the Joker. Because if you go all the way out to the ends, it can have the tendency to drag your mouth down. And gravity is already working overtime. Nobody wants that. The liner's on, just tapping really lightly with a powder puff for longevity again. With some makeup by Mario in South Shore. Just in the middle and pat together and tap in. Beautiful nude, not competing with the rest of your look, lip combo. Going with some of this Dialba spray. It was the spray that we primed with. Oh, you know what? I forgot bottom lash mascara. That's okay. Because like I said, I need it to last all day. One size on till dawn. And this is the insurance policy. Makeup isn't going anywhere. Nothing like it. To some bottom lash mascara. And we'll be done. I'm excited to keep growing this channel. I'm super excited about 2026, so I hope you'll subscribe. We will get it all figured out over here on YouTube. Obviously, if you don't follow me on TikTok, I'm over there, C16, same name. Instagram linked, it's C1 Beauty over 50. So I hope you'll consider subscribing and following me on all the channels. I'm excited to kind of see where YouTube goes. As always, I have all the products linked below in the captions. We're going to be talking over 50, over 55 makeup, skincare, gray hair transition, life, menopause, hormones, how to make our outsides match our insides over 55. All right, everybody, I love you guys. Hasta la próxima. Mwah. Bye.